There is a sixth dimension beyond that which is known to man. A multiverse as vast as eternity, as timeless as the Infinity Gems. It is the middle ground between the big two and the indie publishers, between sci-fi and mysticism, and it lies between the pages of the reader's imagination. At the summit of entertainment, the dimension of comics, where a humble service is held. We call this service the Gospel of Comics.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Gospel of Comics. I am your host, the Church of Failure, and with me, as always, is my trusty co-host, Ayrton McCartney. How you doing tonight, buddy? Did Ayrton die?
I think the curse that was put
sorry.
on.
Wait. I'm here. Sorry, I just had to smack a bitch real quick before we went live.
Oh,
Okay.
All right, yeah, that's acceptable. I actually listened to the Prodigy
about to
song
make
of that same title.
I was about to make a hexing a moon reference for some really esoteric commentary.
Oh, some witch talk commentary? We can talk witch talk later.
Oh, that's gonna be some good times. I have no idea how anybody's gonna handle that.
Well, I mean, we have some absurd things to talk about regarding Dynamite Comics in the first portion of the show.
I mean, it's not really that absurd.
It's kind of absurd.
It's what War Campaign said was going to happen before it happened.
Well, I mean, there are two absolutes in the world. Everything freezes and always believe War Campaign. No matter what you think of them, no matter what your affiliation with them, think they're degenerates and dilettantes and whatever other D word you can use. D nefarious. But no.
D-Live should change its name to D Nefarious. That would probably make it a better service.
Well, D infamous. D infamous streamers are all on D-Live. By the way, be sure to join dlive.tv/Church of Failure for our inevitable YouTube banning.
Which I'm surprised it's been over a year and it hasn't happened yet.
I mean, it's come close. We've had plenty of attempted flaggings and strikes. They just don't stick. But no. So when you say
Susan,
War
you gotta
Campaign,
keep your pan strong.
When you say, Larry, that War Campaign said something was going to happen and then it happened, what exactly are you referring to, buddy?
Well, that Dynamite Comics was going to turn on Cecil and Ethan and Anna and all these people who are trying to make an interesting wedge into the current debate over what the future of comic books as an industry is, of which Diamond was at least starting in 2018 saying, well, maybe we need to walk a third path like Peter Simeti's doing to make our company more viable going forward into the future.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and,
I mean, if there's
if
there's one thing that I know, you should always be more like Peter Simeti if it's possible.
Absolutely.
Everybody should.
Absolutely. And to quote Mark Hamill from The Last Jedi, this is not going to go how you think.
So,
unless your War Campaign, then it went exactly the way you thought.
Exactly.
Can I kick Larry for quoting The Last Jedi?
Not yet. Hail, Don Chen. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Why do you not have a wrench? Why did no one ever give Don a wrench?
I don't think I even realized.
You have a wrench now, Don. I don't know why you were still a white man. That bothers me. Anyway, welcome to the chat, buddy. Now, please...
He's in California.
Please don't...
That's why he's still awake.
Please don't take the following as any indication that we're not going to buy the hamster book that Dynamite's going to put now. But we have some words to say about Dynamite and just some history to go through. Maybe just a rehashing and a timeline, if you will. Nothing judgmental per se from us as hosts. We'll put our neutral hats on. But we're going to lay the facts out there as we see them, and the lines are open to anybody.
My neutral hat is at the dry cleaners. Can I wear my neutral yarmulke?
No, no. What about your neutral ponytail? Do you have that?
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
I can go get
did
it.
you also grab the February 2020 um, keynote speech that Nick Barucci gave for your file?
Oh no, go
Because
ahead and
that's
DM that
also
to me.
kind of important.
Do we? That's actually going to be the
Actually,
first chronologically. But yeah,
yeah.
please
So
send that
here,
over. But we do have some
I I
information.
All right. Yes.
I posted that in actually the live show chat, so it's right there.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
I'll grab that link. Copy link. Yeah. So hopefully we can get through this in 2 hours. Keynote speech.
So at a big comics book conference, Nick Barucci said, "Hey, there's some people out there who are trying to get people not able to publish books and stuff. He called out the cancel culture,
Yeah. Yeah.
and this was one of the threads. I mean, you could go look at the Christopher Priest mugging by garbage people in the comic book media at the start of his Vampirella run. It's another thing of him kind of dipping a toe into our section of the independent comic book pool.
Okay. All right. So I guess that's where we'll start is the keynote speech, and then we'll just move right down. Ayrton, will you do me a favor and send all those links that I sent you to Larry in DMs while I'm going through this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So where we'll start off is what Larry just sent me. It looks like an article from.
Actually, I got a better one from Bleeding Cool that actually has
I'd
the
rather.
text of the speech.
I'd rather. Oh man, how long is that?
Well, no, we could
This is
just
perfect.
skip.
I want to use this. This is from Comics Beat. I don't want to give Bleeding Cool the click, honestly. This is perfect. Considering I already had everything else set up, you just threw a big wrench in my plan when I gave you an hour's heads up. What are you doing to me, Larry? Come on. But you're terrible. But I appreciate it. We'll go through the Comics Beat link. Dynamite CEO Nick Barucci set Keynote Comics Pro conference. Comics Pro announced this week that Nick Barucci, CEO and publisher of Dynamite Entertainment, will be the keynote speaker at the 2020 Comic Industry Conference sponsored by Comics Pro. The event will be in Portland, Oregon, February 20th through the 22nd. I'm thrilled that Nick is speaking at our event, says Mark Davanzo, Executive Director of Comics Pro. He's been in the business for 37 years and has great knowledge of the comic industry. His enthusiasm is second to none, and he's worked as both a retailer and a publisher, and I'm really looking forward to his speech. It's an honor to be chosen this year as the keynote speaker at Comics Pro, such an integral event in our industry that we love so much, said Barucci. At Dynamite, we've been fortunate to have great successes recently on The Boys, Vampirella, Red Sonja, and becoming a premier publisher. The Boys, if you don't know, has recently become a very popular Amazon show. It was optioned for multiple years before finally being picked up. It was well received, and people are just chomping at the bit for season 2. So I knew about The Boys long before this. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm nervously optimistic about season 2.
So let me read the juicy part from his speech.
Okay.
At times, there is a retail minority that are loud and the equivalent to keyboard cops, and they may not realize it, but they border on bullying. They prefer cancel culture over discussion and understanding and mutual cooperation. For the most part, from both the retail, publisher, and fan perspectives, this kind of cancel culture, as well as resistance to change, stifles experimentation and growth. Without experimentation, Marvel's Heroes Reborn would not have happened, which would not have led to Marvel Knights, which would not allow Joe Quesada to become Marvel's editor-in-chief, and would not have led to a more experimentation like the Ultimate line, Marvel Max, and the many creators that helped usher in another great age of comics. So he talks a little bit about that. But also Cancel culture for some of you has also allowed politics and personal views to affect the comics you order or the experience of your fans at your store. We need to be open to everything. We need to service everyone. Let me give you a personal example. In Dynamite, we're fortunate enough to publish The Boys. When DC sold the series to us, there were retailers who did not like the sensitive content. I had retailers threaten to stop ordering our titles if we didn't cancel The Boys, but they were passionate about the series, but we were passionate about the series and stood firm. That was an early threat of cancel culture.
I mean, I don't think that's actually true. I think you're taking a disingenuous approach to what cancel culture is in that definition, Nick Barucci.
Well, I mean that's what the yeah.
But well, what I'm getting at
But
is cancel culture, from what we know it, is when the hate mob comes from you and tries and eliminates you as a persona non grata. Uh, Retailers for decades have been dealing with the over under of putting out risque content in one form or another. I mean, do you know how many people threatening to quit carrying Marvel comics after Stan Lee disobeyed the Comic Code Authority to publish a Spider-Man comic book centered around drug abuse? Do you know how many parents wrote to their local comic book store and said, "My kid shouldn't be reading this"? That's not cancel culture. That's just a free market economy. Cancel culture is
But those
exactly
were
what.
early carrots.
Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll see an actual example of cancel culture in this this forte.
But here's a question. So is Nick saying that Cecil's cover is more controversial than The Boys? Is that what we're being asked to believe here?
Yes, I think so. So, but
hey,
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Fun.
We haven't gotten to Cecil's cover yet. Let's just continue down the rabbit hole. So the next little piece that I have on the timeline, checking out the Be the Change Humble Bundle, supporting social justice and featuring Dynamite titles. Now, it's no secret that Dynamite often puts up digital collections for Humble Bundle. It's a great marketing opportunity. It's a good way to spread around your titles, to spread awareness for everything that's going on in your industry, and to get people excited about upcoming titles by allowing them to catch up on previous ones. From a business standpoint, working with Humble Bundle, not a problem at all. Now, the problem came when this Be the Change Humble Bundle was discovered. I believe, and I could be incorrect, but I believe that the accusation made, and I have not done the adequate research to make sure of this directly, but again, work campaign is never wrong, so I have a hard time doubting it. But I believe that this Humble Bundle.
By the way, war campaign, whoever's listening from them, since you're never wrong, just everyone tweet out the Gospel of Comics is the greatest show on YouTube.
That's correct. But I believe the general consensus was that some of the proceeds, if not all of the proceeds from this Humble Bundle, would eventually end up assisting in freeing protesters that had committed property damage and other crimes in the midst of Antifa and Black Lives Matter.
It went to the umbrella of various
protesters still.
It went to the umbrella of various Black Lives Matter related charities.
We definitely can't call them the words that you want to, Ayrton.
What? Assholes?
Well, no, that's still okay on YouTube.
Yeah, that one's fine. That one's fine. I was just a little worried. I was a little worried that you were a little too prepared for this show.
Look. He was not going to do the hard gamer word on the show.
I still don't believe that. It's been a year. He's been biding his time. It's going to happen soon.
I don't even play video games.
So. That's all the more reason you probably drop gamer words. Dynamite is proud to participate in Humble Bundle's latest industry-wide digital comic bundle, with proceeds benefiting multiple organizations involved in fighting injustice in the United States. The
Ooh,
bundle is live
so
right
much
now, so check out the
injustice.
deals to support it. It is no longer live. It has been removed, which is why you have a screenshot as opposed to a link. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. Critically acclaimed and fan-favorite titles from Dynamite include the bundle featured black characters and or black creators behind the page. So we're already off to a jamming start. Included are both brilliant Shaft graphic novel. Yeah, because Shaft isn't racist at all, folks. I just want you to know that the idea of basically a fucking pimp that's also a secret
Whoa, whoa,
agent.
whoa, 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 whoa! We're just talking about Shaft.
I didn't say he wasn't a bad motherfucker. But Shaft graphic novel, a
Can I
completed
sue them over life rights?
Shaft is bigger than yours, Ayrton. That's the
You don't know what he's got.
That's the 75% difference.
Damn it.
Shaft graphic novel, A Complicated Man by David F. Walker and Bilquis Evely, I think. That's a terrible name. As well as Walker's follow-up, Imitation of Life, with artist Dietrich Smith, superstar writer Vita Alea.
Vita Ayala.
Sure. Recent run on Xena Warrior Princess. Go ahead.
Vita is a young black person of color who is of a non-binary gender that Marvel has writing everything that they can give to her.
Okay, that's what makes me happy that I'm not buying a lot of Marvel.
Right.
With a take
My
on the
brain
character
hurts
that
after that
embraces
sentence.
certain themes known by creators and fans for years. What certain themes could they be?
Well, I mean, lesbians. It's lesbians.
Black
Oh, I thought it was
lesbians!
Tippy's housewife.
Amazing! The Alex Ross design Bring the Thunder completes Dynamite's set, but that's only the tip of the iceberg. Get it? Tip of the iceberg.
Just the tip.
If only they paid for an actual book to be drawn by Alex Ross, I'd be in the market for buying that book.
As several major publishers chip into the boat. Well, I mean, with this offer, I would definitely just buy the Alex Ross book in hard copy and not contribute shit to this. But that's beyond the point. As several major publishers chip into the bundle, totaling a regular value of over $1,000. I'm going to do the Dr. Evil thing, even though you can't see me. With tiers ranging from just $1 to $20, there is a perfect option for everyone. So that tells you exactly what kind of value they place on their work. Even if I was giving this away to charity, the minimum start for $1,000 worth of comic books would be at least a third of the price. Like, you'd have to drop about $300 to get $1,000 worth of books. Like that would just be the starting price on that kind of charity. Like, I'm just trying to raise some money and help some people who can't afford all of this, but I'm trying to get some help, not $1 for $500 worth of shit, right? But you're only getting
Like those
digital
stupid
copies.
boxes.
No, you're only getting digital copies.
Like, you know those nerd boxes?
Yeah, but you're getting digital copies.
You pay $40 a month
I believe
for $3
Humble
worth
Bundle.
of crap.
I believe Humble Bundle doesn't do DRM. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Larry. I don't think they do DRM on the
I
books you
don't
buy there.
believe so.
So, I mean, they are
I don't believe
yours.
so.
You're not reliant on an app. You can use an independent app. So, Humble Bundle's not really at fault here. They're just doing their job. But here's where we get to the good part. Organized by creators like industry leaders Gail Simone and Kamara Horn, who I've never heard of, the bundle will support the Bale Project. Here we go. The Carl Brandon Society and the National Urban League. Now, the Bale Project is what we were talking about earlier. Freeing protesters from jail, helping to get protesters out of jail.
That's right. That's right. And only 10% of the money that's been contributed has actually gone to people's bail.
Well, still, the idea of
imagine my shock.
Bailing out SJWs really didn't sit well with the general CG. Humble Bundle is owned by IGN. Oh, all right. Uh, but anyway, Alex Ross gets paid enough he can just do covers and sell paintings forever. And you know what? I respect Alex Ross because he keeps his fucking personal beliefs off Twitter, and I've never seen him badly interact with the fan. I don't give a shit what you are as long as you don't talk down to me for not being that. I can love your work forever if you don't talk
Right.
down to me for not being what you are. It's an easy fucking buy. I will forever respect Alex Ross and Jonathan Hickman for being liberals that know when to keep their fucking mouths shut. I mean, am I wrong there, Larry?
I mean, that's certainly one element of the thing, but also you have to keep in mind what I'd like to use as an example is Guillermo del Toro. He's a communist.
Yeah.
His communism is deeply in his art.
Yeah.
But it's not distracting from his art. It's a firm part of it, and it flows, and everything makes sense.
He doesn't shove his communism down your throat to imbibe his art.
Well, I mean, no, it's part and parcel of his art. The only exceptions are the Hellboy movies and Pacific Rim.
Well, Pan's Labyrinth, I mean, that was him, and...
Well, no, but that was very communist.
Oh, sure, but, I mean, I didn't get you have to be a communist from watching that movie. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, it was about the Spanish Civil War. It was about the Spanish Civil War, and the communists were the heroes.
Well, sure, but you get what I'm saying. Like, that wasn't the thematic overtone that... Like, they didn't say, oh, yes, and bless communism every 5 minutes. You know, it wasn't over the top.
No, because he's not a hack.
Is take less drugs.
Because he's not a hack. He's
Right.
not a hack. That's the key difference.
Well, sure, but, I mean, I can respect someone who... I mean, let's be honest. You can see everyone's politics in their stuff if you dig hard enough and you make enough loose association just based on what you know.
Mhm.
Right? So,
Right.
I mean, you can draw those inferences from things that aren't even there in some cases. Like, if I was to just pick up and raw read Tim Lim's Space Force, Trump Space Force, I wouldn't know if he was trying to make fun of Trump or trying to laud him as an over-exaggerated hero. Like, yes, he's the protagonist
he's trying to satirize.
Well, yes.
He's satirizing everybody.
Well, sure, but he's the protagonist of the book, but he's also an utter imbecile throughout the entire thing. So, even though he's a hardcore conservative and an always Trumper, like, that doesn't necessarily come across part and parcel with the book. And I respect that. So, anyway, moving on to our third example. Now, I think this is where we need a little bit of backstory before we pull this one up. So, there, obviously, anybody who is plugged into Comicsgate and that sector of the internet and comics Twitter and all of that knows that there was kind of a schism within Comicsgate because there was a fallout between War Campaign and basically the Jaxo Comicsgate.
All over Anna, that Star Wars girl.
Supposedly. I mean, there was more to it than that from what I observed.
I mean, there was... that was the match. But there was obviously, residual tensions.
Right. The kindling had been built up for a while. I mean, it was a powder keg waiting for the match, and, Anna and accusations of Anna's sister, which I'm not entirely sure are well-founded. Like, I don't know that I agree that there were sufficient references to Anna's sister from anyone prominent within Comicsgate to...
Well, let's back up a little bit here. So let's get to the central complaint was Anna was clout chasing, and she was trying to use Ethan to leverage her existing clout into
Comicsgate
selling
money.
Merch to Comicsgate. Yeah.
And
I mean,
one of the
she
things
had her own clout.
Well, one of the things that I've been quoted as saying privately is that was a very, I mean, and I don't want to disrespect Anna in any way. I will never disrespect anybody's hustle. get your money how you're going to get your money. Just don't shit on anybody for not giving you their money for it. But that was a very Gamergate-esque situation to me. Having someone who has no experience and no background in comics, having someone who has no stake in the game, just come in and be handed a cover from an industry.
Well, hold up. This
What?
isn't handing her a cover. So you know how the variant scheme with Dynamite works.
Explain for the people that may not. Let's pretend that I do.
But
And everyone else doesn't.
before this all got nuked, and it may not happen anymore. But
Well,
let's just say that you wanted to make a church.
Well, let's be honest here. Apparently, the Dynamite covers actually all came back today, except Cecil's. So maybe
No.
that's
There's been an update since then. Indiegogo's looking
in the last
into
4
it
hours.
because of yes.
Oh, okay.
Indiegogo's looking into it due to the mass refunds, but we'll get to the mass refunds.
You're like a reporter on the street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I only say this residually because I work for a living.
What's going on out there, Larry?
There's a reason I reached out to you to come on to this. But yeah, go ahead.
So let's just say you want to make a Church of Comics variant cover.
Church of Failure, yes, that's my name.
Church of Failure variant cover for Vampirella. Well, you'd order like 500 copies of a Vampirella issue that's already been printed, already gone out. You'd get an artist.
Mhm.
You'd set up an Indiegogo. Dynamite would promote you, and then you would, once you hit your threshold, they'd print your stuff up. They'd put it out. You'd sell it, obviously, to the people who were part of your initial crowdfunding first. Originally, this was set up for like comic book shops and certain higher end artists who were like out in the world, like Frank Cho.
Right.
So no one gave
And,
Anna this
Mike-
thing. Anna
Mike Miller.
ponied up money.
Well, hold on. Mike Miller also admits to doing a lot of work with Dynamite on a monthly basis. Is it confirmed that he is contracted, or is it the same thing he's doing?
No.
Okay.
I don't know the ins and outs of Mike's business, other
Okay.
than the fact that he needs a business manager to help him manage his business.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But go ahead. Sorry, Anna
But,
ponied
yeah.
up money.
So Anna ponied up money. She drew a piece of comic art. She went to her buddy Ethan, said, Ethan, can you help me sell this?
Let me interrupt you again real quick. I have not done any verification of Larry's claims. I'm taking him at face value because he is a very good friend of the show. If you have evidence stating otherwise, or if you have evidence proving this case, feel free to DM it to me on Discord in the link above, and I'll ask Ayrton to drop that link again. If you have any kind of evidence either supporting or denying this theory, I'd love to see it. We're just going to go with what Larry's reporting here, and it is not the opinion of the show, whole cloth, just a rudimentary statement.
Yeah. It's like, how it is on the internet. Things are still moving. So Anna went to her good buddy Ethan, said, hey, can you help me sell this? Ethan says, of course, because he wants to more fully monetize his connections to the Fandom Menace, because Ethan's shrewd about doing his business.
Right.
And a lot of guys in the war campaign are like going, whoa, this is a whole bunch of clout chasing. WTF, Ethan.
And there was also some complaints about the level of artistic quality in the cover as well, I remember seeing.
Yeah.
Just some.
But again, this is like an oddball variant cover scheme, so it's like, I don't really have a strong investment in.
Do we have a final count on how many variant covers that issue of Vampirella actually had?
I don't know. It was like something like 50 or 60.
Right. I thought it was pushing 50 something. But anyway, go ahead. Anna paid in, got Ethan to promote her because of his connection to Fandom Menace.
Well, Ethan helped and all that. War Campaign was like going, whoa, this is like a whole lot of clout chasing. WTF. Then Cecil got on their case, and that led to the big schism.
Well, there were a few more, like, again, powder keg incidents. John Malin and the peasant meme. The infamous
Yeah.
blow up between Pan and Ethan Van Sciver over on Ozart's channel on YouTube. But basically, one of the claims that I remember specifically coming out about this is that Dynamite is calling the shots within Comicsgate right now. And I don't have any validity to verify that, only speculation.
That
However,
ended up getting disproven later.
however, what I
But
was
a
going to
lot of
say,
people on
there
okay.
there has been video put out, streams put out that involved War Campaign and Row, in fact, stating that Blood Honey was basically fulfilled by Dynamite. That Dynamite was involved in pushing Ethan towards chromium covers and away from square binding. That Dynamite has been embedded in not War Campaign, but in Comicsgate for many, like 2 years at least. I actually have an article that we're going to talk about with that later. But anyway, yeah, all of that came up.
There's been
There
a
was
market push.
the peasant powder keg, and War Campaign was basically, in my opinion, at this very moment, just based on the situations that have happened, I think War Campaign took the brunt of a corporate shift almost of Comicsgate. The big wigs, the people making a lot of money in CG, made an executive decision to distance themselves from War Campaign so that they would look better to a company like Dynamite, maybe.
So
But
there's a
again,
lot of
speculation.
rumor,
It's just, yeah.
and also Gail Simone and the Wine Aunties are also claiming that Dynamite has done fulfillment for Ethan as well, and that's
Right.
a long-term business trajectory Dynamite wanted to do. Don't know anything about that. I do know that Ethan has admitted to going to Dynamite for help with making the Cyberfrog toys. And the CEO of the company is a friend of his.
I've seen some speculation on that as well. I'm not at liberty to say where that speculation emanates from, but there is some speculation that Dynamite was part of the driving force of the toy additions to Ethan's line. Delta in the chat says Dynamite did the same thing with Mike Miller last year, supposedly. Jump in the chat, Delta. We'd love to hear from you too, buddy. The waiting room is open.
Yeah, hop in the waiting room. I have my eye on it. I'll pull people in.
Yeah, he can sound check you, and then when he makes sure it was okay, he can pull you in. But go ahead, Larry.
So that's what some of that stuff is. Dynamite has, like with the Christopher Priest thing, where Vampirella was going to be challenging cancel culture and snowflakes and all of that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They have been marketing towards Comicsgate audiences, because let's say there's 7,000 people as a relatively high watermark for Comicsgate. For a small company like Diamond, that's primary business.
Just a little bit of breaking news: Kanye West has lost his fucking mind on Twitter, y'all.
Well, I mean, that's not breaking news.
No, that's kind of breaking news.
That's happened for a while.
But yeah, he's mass tweeting like once every 2 or 3 minutes.
I don't think I follow Kanye.
You got to follow Ye. But anyway, go ahead. And trading cards, Delta says. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and trading cards. So Dynamite's been trying to market that 7,000 roughly high watermark Comicsgate people. Mm-hmm. If they could get that would enable them to leverage their company for higher end licensed comics like Xena, like Shaft, bigger end things that might sell better. Boom is basically doing the same business model they were doing, but they're slightly better at it.
Right. Power Rangers has been a fucking enormous success for them.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the whole thing, is like if they could get that Comicsgate pipeline to come into Dynamite, that would enable them to leverage for bigger clients.
And just because we have been keeping an ear to the ground, we know that there is a Cyberfrog crossover with the Dynamite property of adolescent radioactive black belt hamsters, created by a friend of the show, Mr. Don Chen. So there is an intrinsic link, and it's also on record and noted that Nick Barucci, the CEO of Dynamite, is a good friend and long-term acquaintance of Ethan Van Sciver. So it doesn't really come as a surprise that there were some business dealings there. Anyway, one of the most recent Vampirella variant covers that was announced, which brings me to my next link, fucking finally, not because Larry runs his mouth too much,
No, not at all.
is Cecil's big cover, which raised over $10,000 in 2 days. Go ahead.
And now it's down to 0.
Well, what was your first comment going to be?
I was going to say it's the cover that's more controversial than the boys.
The cover that's more controversial than the Cecil Pete cover. But we'll touch on that later.
Now,
anyway,
real quick,
go ahead.
If you guys were going to be part of a human centipede, which section would you want to be in?
Front.
No.
Oh yeah. If I'm going to be the human centipede, I want to be the front.
Oh, just no?
Just no. Yeah. I'm good with that.
Well, you could be the front, or you could be behind a really hot chick.
Nope, just the front. I'd like to be the head of the Cecil Pete. Anyway.
And you're just no, Larry?
Funded in less than an hour, which is a really shitty exclamation to make when your goal is $500. And it's flexible. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Dynamite? Come on. But anyway, you scroll down and you see campaign canceled. We've discussed this with Cecil, and we are no longer moving forward with the campaign. All current orders will be canceled and refunded as soon as possible. We thank everyone for your support. There are 3 different variant covers in this campaign. There is the titleless cover, there is the full color cover, and there is the sketch cover. You can get all 3 covers signed with Cecil's signature for $100. That's pretty cheap, right? Vampirella, Vengeance of Vampirella with Red Sonja and Cecil on it. That's what every Vampirella fan want, right? There's a fat dude with a mustache on their Vampirella comic. They definitely don't buy it for the kitty covers, right?
Right. Can I just say, though, if for any reason we ever have a book we need to sign, I'm going to put Richard Nixon's signature instead of mine.
I'd expect nothing less. I'm actually just going to dip the head of my dick in a pail of ink and smack it on the comic book.
You know, your dick print is unique.
Unique as your fingerprint. Yes.
You can use it to like unlock your phone and stuff. It's crazy.
You know, they actually had.
Same with nipples.
I don't know if you remember.
I hate you so much.
In the leftovers, they actually.
Hold on real quick. Don Chen says in the chat, Ethan said on his stream he was going to pray about what to do with the Cyberfrog ARBBH book. I haven't heard from either. If it doesn't happen, he said he would give the creative team future work. Don, DM me on Twitter. I'd like to talk to you about a potential option if something doesn't happen. But DM me on Twitter. We'll talk about that privately in our backroom options. Darb says, "Hail, I'm late. Don't be sorry, Darb. It is our pleasure to have you, sir." So, continuing on. Now, you have a choice of any one particular cover for $20, unsigned. You can get a Cecil neck gaiter, which is a fishing mask that does nothing to stop you from getting sick or spreading a virus, except like stopping you from spitting on people. Except from stopping you from spitting on people.
there's actually better scientific evidence that it's actually helpful. That goes back 100 years.
I'm making a generalization. I understand the idea that water droplets are bigger than virus microns. I'm just talking about as far as particulates being able to be carried by air. Not a conversation we're going to get on the show. I haven't had enough to drink yet. But you can get a neck gaiter that costs about $4 to produce for $25. You can get a $4 T-shirt with a shitty imprint on it for $25. You can get graded copies, apparently, and lithographs, all 3 covers for a $10 discount, unsigned, a survivor pack, lucky cover, graded. Let's see that. Slab makes the ultimate collectible. It doesn't tell you what you're guaranteed to get as far as a grade. That's bullshit. You should be able to guarantee a 9.5 or higher if you're going to offer a graded copy for $100, you fuckers.
Here's a graded copy. It's a 0.5.
Yeah.
We threw it in the washing machine with our lights.
It has Cecil's
and then
dick
ran it in the
imprint on
dryer
it in
a
ink.
low tumble.
Cecil will do a custom sketch on the Virgin cover for you for $175. I mean, they were milking this for all it was worth. $200, you can get 3 graded comics. You can get them signed for another $100. So Cecil's signature is worth anywhere between, what is it, 40 divided by 3 is 10, 3, so about $13 to $33.
Did you just say 40 divided by 3 is 10?
No, I said 10, 13, because I was doing the math on spec.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like $13 to $33 for Cecil's signature per book.
Yeah.
That's the value.
I followed it now.
So Church, you know how many variant covers I've bought in my life?
I have bought none, so
I've bought 2 or 3 when I didn't have any choice.
Same here.
Well, I mean, I bought variant covers because I didn't have options of, original A covers, but I didn't buy variant covers because they were variant covers. And I've never paid more for a cover because someone else drew it.
Yeah, so this whole thing to me is like, okay, so
unless you count
Cecil's
back
making
issues where I paid more for a comic book that was on the cover because it was a Todd McFarlane cover that wasn't in my collection and it cost more than the cover price.
Right.
But it was still the original goddamn cover of the book.
Right. So like when Cecil's thing came out, I was like, okay, so Cecil's gonna, do this whole, variant cover scheme for Dynamite. Good for him.
Yeah, capitalism.
Cecil's gonna get paid. Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for capitalism. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of things that have gone on with CG proper as of late. I definitely fall on the sympathetic side of the word campaign on a lot of these situations because I think I honestly see a lot of Gamergate coming out of CG right now, and it hurts my soul. But I never had any ill will towards Cecil's cover. I just wasn't going to purchase it, first off, because I don't read Vampirella. I will never read Vampirella.
Actually,
I will just watch reruns of Elvira for the same aesthetic.
Exactly.
Well, no. The Christopher Priest run on Vampirella has been very solid. He actually gave you a reason to care about Vampirella.
I mean, if you wanted a reason to care about Vampirella, I just don't. Like, that's just the thing. I'm not the guy to care about Vampirella. Then again, I wasn't the guy to care about Boom Boom until they made her an appealing character in Claremont's run, so I get it.
Right. So this happened around the same time the Whisper Network got exposed.
Well, yeah, that's true. Why don't you, before I get into these tweets, talk about the Whisper Network for a minute?
So it's really simple. There's a secret Facebook group of Gail Simone and other mean girls on Twitter on Facebook. And I mean,
do they share their kitty pictures in these groups? Can I get an invite?
No. And Gail and her people have been nice to me, so I'm not saying they're in a Mean Girls to be insulting. I'm saying it's Mean Girls like the movie Mean Girls.
Well, yeah, it's like
They all do
Pretty Ugly Little Liars, the Facebook group.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's the way they're operating, and they're
That's-
trying to help people get over in the comic book industry by doing organized campaigns to encourage editors to hire them and
Organized crime.
encourage editors to not hire other people who may be problematic because they may or may not have been sex pests, who may or may not have molested people or groomed people or raped people.
Wait.
Now, wait a minute. Hold on.
Saying that this is a blacklist?
No. I'm saying that they turned on all those people when it was convenient to get
Ayrton,
somebody else hired.
Ayrton, real quick. African American list, please.
Sorry.
Yeah. We don't want to get this stream pulled by you too.
POC list. It's a people of color list.
But yeah, so allegedly, the people in the Mean Girl Whisper Network would cover up for some of these reprobates in the comic book industry until it was time to turn them out, and then they would organize the effort to turn them out so that a
Maximum
woman
exposure.
or a person of color or a transgender person could get a job.
Right. Maximum exposure.
Allegedly.
Now, we remember an example of this with I believe it was an Asian woman who got on somebody for ghostwriting under an Asian pseudonym. That's a thing, right? That happened.
Well, yeah, it was some food blogger who works for Marvel.
Right, and they ended up like getting a job because they shamed Marvel for hiring a guy that used an Asian pseudonym.
Yeah, a guy who may or may not be their editor-in-chief.
Joe Quesadilla?
No, Joe's not the editor-in-chief anymore.
Who's C.B. Cebulski?
C.B. Cebulski was the one who did it.
Okay.
That was why I made the food blogger joke.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't know. I haven't bought mainstream Marvel since 2015.
Yeah. Joe Quesada is the chief creative officer. So his job is to manage all the creatives.
So basically, he does nothing.
So he supplies the cocaine?
No, he does
No.
nothing. He supplies the dilation stations.
Right.
I didn't say that out
so
loud.
the Whisper Network, you did.
No, I didn't. I promise. It was in my head. It was just really loud in my head.
So the Whisper Network.
Oh God, Don Chin, and Don Chin says it, so it's not racist. He says, "What's her name? Ek Fu Young." I don't know, but I think C.B. Cebulski's pen name was some dumb guy.
No, it was Akira Yoshida was the name he used.
Something Wong, Wee Too Low, Holy Fook, Bang Ding Ow.
Oh, Jesus
Anyway.
Christ, I appreciate that.
So-
we needed
Sorry,
that.
Larry.
So a day or two after the Whisper Network got exposed, all of a sudden, people started talking about how problematic Cecil's cover is, and implying that Cash Grab, his successful crowdfunded comic book campaign, which hasn't come out yet, was being sponsored by Dynamite Comics. And then a day or two later, Dynamite bent the knee.
Well,
Imagine my shock.
here's kind of a walking timeline of some creators that actually had a part in this. There was a CBR article.
By the way, if you don't know who these people are, don't worry, they don't know either.
Yeah, and you're probably blocked by them because you actually follow good creators. Mark Russell on Twitter says, and I'm gonna drop the Discord overlay so I can read this, guys. I'm not kicking you. All right. So as I write this, I am finishing work on Red Sonja number 24, which concludes my contractual obligations to Dynamite Comics. This is Mark Russell at ManRuss on Twitter.
That is stunning and brave. That is stunning and brave of him.
It is.
ending his contractual obligation.
After which, I will no longer be accepting any further work from Dynamite for as long as they continue any affiliation whatsoever with Comicsgate. And we click on to.
So once
show
they're
this
done
thread.
paying me, I'm not going to work for them again.
Exactly.
I don't make this decision lightly. Not only because I look forward to other Dynamite projects, but because when a creep walks into a bar, I think they should be the ones to leave. But the reality is, they're not being asked to leave, which necessitates this decision. I don't know if this is the right move, or even a very smart one. Well, at least he has self-awareness. But it's what my conscience requires.
Mm-hmm.
Comicsgate is a hate group with a long history of harassment, partially of women.
What about her ass?
Particularly of women and the LGBTQ creators. Don't.
So Ayrton, remember, on a public social media network, responding to people is harassment, unless you respond to them in a way that they approve of.
And don't you try to convince me that they're not. I've seen it for myself.
Now,
I've seen it.
Is it harassment to want to move to South Dakota because the governor isn't a massive bitch and she's pretty hot?
I mean, do you think you can? Do you think you can tag that? I've been thinking about moving to Alaska for the same reason.
I mean, probably not. I'll actually watch her speeches. Mind you, not with the sound on. I'll just watch them.
Oh, okay. Will the sound the people hear be like?
No, because I'm not DSP and I won't leave my camera or anything on.
What do you think we're gonna do for a bonus episode on Patreon this week?
Also, I read that Red Sonja run. I've read a couple of issues in it, and the best I can say about his high point of his writing is it's extremely forgettable.
Mark Russell
and that's his high watermark.
He continues and says, "But if they won't leave the bar, then I have to. I refuse to provide them mainstream cover by working alongside them because so many people know who I am." Let's just take a look at Mark Russell real quick on Twitter. 7,000 whole followers, guys. All 7,000 of his fans would be exposed to Comicsgate's hate culture if he didn't leave the bar. He leaves the bar alone.
Who is this guy?
Exactly. Again, this was not an easy decision. I loved working with Dynamite, and I know this put my collaborators in a difficult position. I've had several conversations with them over the last few days, and I'm proud to report that they all support or at least understand this decision. Stunning.
So, just
so
to give
brave.
you an idea, Mark Russell, let me give you some comic books he's done.
Mm-hmm.
He did Second Coming. He did The Wonder Twins.
Is Second Coming about the guy that has to jerk off after sex because he can't catch a nut with a woman because he's secretly homosexual?
No.
Oh.
No, this is about
Am
Jesus
I close?
living with Superman. No, it's about Jesus living with Superman. He did Judge Dredd. He did a James Bond comic book that nobody read.
Delta's Berg Force says
an annual for the Terrific.
With these IPs, they should be making softcore porn comics. I have a theory about that we'll talk about offline, Delta. But yeah. Ayrton McCartney says, "Don't get any ideas, Don. I don't want to see Clint in a bikini." I do, Don. Never listen to Ayrton. He has the worst ideas. But
He also did a remake of the classic dumb 70s comic book Prez.
Prez was not a dumb 70s comic book. Prez was a decent book.
No. I'm not saying that the book itself wasn't decent. I'm saying the entire concept was stupid.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You could have a stupid concept that executed effectively, but he did a woke #current year version about some Oregon teenager getting elected president.
Yeah, I saw that. It wasn't the worst thing he's ever written.
Yeah. But as I said, based on my experience with what he's written, his high watermark is he's extremely forgettable.
Well, here's the problem, though. Mark Russell wasn't the only one that spoke out against Dynamite that I was able to snag a tweet from.
Oh no!
Now, several
Who
other
else?
people did, including Renfamous, but I refuse to give that bitch the light of the day. But I don't know if you guys
Well,
are familiar.
Renfamous is going to go after Dynamite further.
I'm not.
If you give her the light of day, it might scare off the raccoons.
Well, no, the raccoon is lodged firmly up her ass. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with the comic Black. Larry, why don't you tell everybody about Black?
Quanzer. So, what if only black people had
Also,
superpowers?
Larry, let me thank you
but we're
personally
also...
for carrying the show on your own and letting me just kind of give you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And interrupted.
So what if black people were the only ones to have superpowers, but they were also still racially oppressed and discriminated against?
How does that work?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
Maybe you draw a comic book about it because you think it'll sell, but nobody shows up to your table when you're at a con because nobody knows who the fuck you are. Actually, let's take a look here. Oh wait, even less people follow fucking Quanzer. Holy shit!
And allegedly, Quanzer and Ren are responsible for doing bots and ops on Twitter against people. Allegedly.
Well, there is no allegedly to the fact that someone on the inside of Marvel Comics is paying Renfamous to run interference against Comicsgate. They may no longer be doing so because of the blocking shenanigans that took place around 2018, but between 2017 and 2018, she was very clearly enticed to engage with Comicsgate on a daily basis, literally over nothing, on almost
there's
a
an
minute to minute.
That a PR firm...
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's an allegation. There's a PR firm that both she and Quanzer worked for may have been hired by somebody to organize anti-Comicsgate activities.
Now, why would an accountant work for a PR firm, Larry?
Well, because she's formerly a political activist who originally was a Republican activist who was...
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Wait, what?
She was formerly a Republican activist. You mean she advocated all of the genocide orchestrated by George W. Bush and his father? She supported that?
Well, not genocide, but she did it.
Oh, no, there was definitely some genocide under their name. Let's be honest here. It might not have been full genocide, but it was attempted.
I mean, they were totally the ones.
My uncle told me stories about Storm, goddammit.
Right. What I'm saying is, though, what I know she did when she was in that phase of her life is she did a lot of online campaigns about how the police in California need to get the hoses on the gay protesters over Proposition 8.
Wait a minute.
They just enjoy that.
Is that before or after she put on her blue wig and started acting like she was an SJW? So it was before she discovered her love for Twinkies and Ding Dongs.
I never saw a picture of her from back then, so I wouldn't know.
She used to actually be skinny and fairly attractive.
What? So allegedly,
she used to be skinny and fairly attractive. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So allegedly, she and Quanzer both worked for a PR firm that specializes in AstroTurf campaigns.
Fucking hilarious. So
many of these words you're saying, I've never seen sense in the combinations you're using.
Again, I've never seen any conclusive evidence of this, but this was a rumor from back in the day.
Okay. All right. So now this leads us into the next tweet by Quanzer. Just to make
the one where he attacks Gail Simone for not saying anything.
No. If you want to hit me with that one, I'll read it after this. Just send it to my DMs or put it in the live show chats or whatever. But
man, now I gotta go to a privacy window to look at Kwanzaa's tweets.
look, I just found the closest one I could, but this is from July
Okay.
19th. It says, at Kwanzaa says, just to make this clear, I think that the hashtag comics industry must acknowledge, all caps, the fact that Dynamite is, all caps, supporting a hate group. What creators choose regarding the contact work with them is their call, but ignoring or shrugging at Nick Barucci funding these scumbags is some bullshit. Which is exactly what War Campaign was saying about the fact that Nick Barucci was helping to fund Mark Wade's GoFundMe in his lawsuit against your boy Zach. Now, let me ask you about this. This is
Oh,
some
by the way,
simple math. Hold
who's
on.
the chairman?
Go
Who's the
ahead.
chairman of the board? Okay.
Well, real quick.
Who's the chairman of the board of Marvel Comics?
Oh, I have no idea. Who is that, Larry? Larry, tell the people. Who's the
Well,
chairman of the board?
The chairman of the board.
The chairman of the
The
board.
chairman of the board of Marvel Comics
The chairman of the
is
board
a
of Marvel
personal
Comics.
friend of one. He's a personal friend of one Donald J. Trump, and who
Oh.
Trump actually regularly called.
Now
Ike
wait a minute.
Perlmutter.
Oh, wait, who? Ike who? Not
Yeah,
Kurt
Ike-
Eichenwald.
Ike
Now wait a
Perlmutter.
minute, Larry.
Now wait a minute, Larry.
Yeah, and,
No, don't go blackpilling him, Larry.
So I'm just saying that Ike Perlmutter is somebody who not only works with Trump, he's active in the day affairs of Marvel Comics. So
And Disney.
Kwanzaa, I think, should be clearly, yeah.
Now, Nick Barucci is funding these scumbags. It's some bullshit. That's the exact sentiment that War Campaign had when they discovered that Nick Barucci had donated, I believe, $200 at least to Mark Wade's GoFundMe in support of his lawsuit against your boy Zach for tortious interference in the state of Texas against a Texan, which is stupid. Let me just break this down for you. If you commit tortious interference against a Texan in the state of Texas, you's a dumb son bitch.
That basically means they get to shoot you.
I mean, go ahead and Yankee that up for him, Ayrton, in case they don't understand hick.
Yeah, that just means they get to shoot you.
I mean,
legally.
yeah.
The court's going to say, okay, you stand there with a blindfold and a cigarette.
I want you to understand that in Texas, they needed killing is been a valid defense held up by the courts.
As long as you don't shoot them in the back. You can't shoot them in the back.
Well, what if they're yellow belly pieces of shit? Like most of these sons of bitches are.
Doesn't you can shoot them in the back of the leg until they turn around.
Well, what if they turn around to get shot in the back when you pull the trigger? That's what I'm asking.
It gets a little bit hairy, but you can probably get away with it. As long as you're using something less than like a 9mm. Like I wasn't trying to kill him. I was just using a 30.
Oh, also, there's another good tweet from your boy Kwanzaa.
Oh,
that
let's not call him your boy. Delta, did you remove your own messages or did somebody else? I'm clarifying. Nobody should be censoring anybody in my chat. If YouTube did it, it would say YouTube censored this message, but I don't want anybody censoring anybody in my chat. So I hope Delta retracted his own method. Well, there are 2 methods retracted from Delta in the chat. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. As long as you retracted them. I'm fine if you feel like you need to retract the message for something, by all means. But I wanted to make sure.
No, you can't even censor yourself.
Fuck you, Ayrton. Don't listen to him.
So I posted the link from one of the other choice statements from Kwanzaa there for you.
Oh, okay. Just give me 1 second. Let me get back over to that area. Oh, we have somebody in the waiting room that Ayrton was supposed to be watching. Will you go in and check his audio?
Yeah,
and make
Delta.
sure By the way.
He just
You're fired.
He just jumped in. I'm gonna go hop over there.
Oh, well, you're fired for something else, but anyway, let me get your link, Larry. Where did you send it? Live show.
Yeah.
Let me pull this link up. I'm just gonna overwrite the previous Quanzer link because that seems like the best way to do it. All right, we will come back to this Dynamite tweet, ladies and gentlemen. Pretend you didn't see it. Oh, this is Quanzer earlier in the 19th. Polarizing is a term white men use about hate groups they shadow fund. I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! How am I supposed to shadow fund anything, Larry? Because they aren't targeted or affected by them. Well, I mean, no, they're already in the shadow realm when they fund them. Nick Barucci did more than realize he saw a bunch of pay pigs and knows an industry that's been silent for too long about abuse. I'm sorry,
I jumped back over in a weird time. Okay, Delta's sounding good. I'm gonna bring him over.
Bring him in. We just covered Quanzer's last tweet.
Oh, okay. Delta, welcome to the show.
How's it going, buddy?
Doing tonight, buddy?
Hell, brothers.
Hail. How's it going, man? We appreciate you calling in. What are you thinking about as far as this Dynamite situation? We haven't gotten to the actual official Dynamite tweet yet, so we just read.
We'll keep going. We've known something was up with them for a while.
Absolutely.
Still waiting to see how it pans out.
It looks like he deleted his post where he was calling out Gail Simone because he and Auntie Gail worked it out.
Well, I mean, and let's be honest here. I mean, if Gail's getting any, it's for Kwanzaa, right? Like that's the dynamic.
She's married.
Okay, so her husband has a snack tray, and Kwanzaa's the only one smashing
that. No. Kwanzaa has to get sloppy seconds from Mark Wade. That's how that works.
No, Mark Wade has a second snack tray. Let's just understand. I've seen enough Drexel streams to know how this works. The black guy is always the bull. No matter how much of a cuck he is, he's always the bull over the two cucky white guys. This is Gail Simone's husband and Mark Wade. There's two snack trays.
But since
Mark Wade gets to suck Kwanzaa's dick first after he fucks Gail.
But since this Kwanzaa tweet did comment on the Dynamite tweet, we could jump right into that now.
Yes,
about
absolutely.
The most controversial comic book cover.
Right, even more controversial than the Cecil P. What do you have any thoughts on that before we read the Dynamite tweet, Delta? I mean, Cecil Pete was a pretty controversial cover, but for Dynamite to pull Cecil's cover after Cecil pulled the Cecil Pete cover, that's got to be a pretty spicy cover. I mean, I guess Dynamite understood that two attractive women could never kiss Cecil on the cheek.
Delta.
No.
I have a feeling it has more to do with who the guy is, Cecil is, than anything.
Dynamite Comics, at Dynamite Comics on Twitter on July 19th, which was Sunday, said, in speaking with Cecil, neither one of us realized the cover would be so polarizing, which has just been defined as a white nationalist term by Kwanzaa, for any of you that forgot. Polarizing.
Exactly.
We discussed and are not moving forward with the cover. Now, I think we discussed means I told Cecil that I'm not moving forward with the cover, therefore he couldn't. So that's why they're not moving forward with the cover. Or the campaign, says Nick Barucci, CEO and publisher of Dynamite Comics. So Delta, feel free to jump in, buddy.
Oh, keep going.
Delta.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I wasn't on the ball there.
Oh no, that was the Dynamite tweet, and that was basically the cancellation. The reason that the Cecil's big cover was canceled was Dynamite
Yeah, give
got.
me a minute. I'm gonna
Oh, go
pull
ahead.
up my response to that because I think I was on that.
Well, there's
I
1K
mean,
responses to 272 hearts, so that's let's see. By my math, that's a little over 1.35%. 135%. No. Uh, it's basically 2/3 more responses than favorites and over 100 retweets more. So a lot of people did have a problem
My
with this.
my go-to response to these people is where how do you get off calling a bunch of okay, maybe they're assholes on the internet, comic skaters, but how do you get off calling them a Nazi hate group when there's Chinese Communist Party uh, taking people away in trains to camps?
well, they don't
Uh,
care about that.
no, they don't care
Because
about
Tiananmen
that.
Square never happened.
They don't care about that simply because the blanket term "ya Nazi" is good enough to cancel anyone with you know enough of a lack of a backbone. If you're a
Yeah,
fucking
it's
coward,
just mostly about destroying competition to begin with, but they're destroying themselves as well. So that's
well,
great.
yeah, but it doesn't matter to them because they'll just move on to the next grift until there's no grift left, and they have to become communists of the government to sustain the population. But
Well, you did bring up the fact that there are activists working for the company, so that says everything.
right, but I mean that's a discussion for a different day. I mean, within the comic community, what kind of backlash do you think this has? Because there's one more tweet that I have to bring up, and that's from Anna, that Star Wars girl. Unless anybody has anything to bring me before I get to that point.
Well, it's backlash from both sides.
Well, of course it is. Oh, I see your.
I mean, I canceled my pull of Umbrella because of it.
I never bought Vampirella, but the only Dynamite project I plan on supporting is because I plan on supporting Don Chen. I will buy the Cyberfrog versus ARBBH, but he's even said in this chat that that's kind of up in the air right now. So, Club Delta post live on show.
Which-
I will not do that, unfortunately. We will just say that Leroy is definitely a bigger man than Preston Poulter, but in more ways than one, of course. Now,
Or Preston Pegger, as he's known.
yeah. Now, there is, again, like I said, there's one more post that I have to bring up and I have to discuss. And Delta, I'm sure you're familiar with this one. I'm not sure how you feel about it, but probably the same way I do. That Star Wars Girl 77, aka Anna, that Star Wars Girl on Twitter, talk to Cecil. I'm still moving forward with my upcoming projects. Projects. Let's take a minute and specialize that word right there and put a big red circle around it. Projects, multiple. She's put out one shitty cover, and I'm sorry, Anna. No personal grievances between you and me, but I would have much rather have seen
Your
a
cover
painted.
sucked.
I would have much rather have seen your painting on that cover as opposed to that brat sketch. I'm sorry. I actually would have bought it if it would have been a painting of yours. I would have bought it and put it in the frame and never read it because fuck Vampirella. But you paint well. You don't draw that good, bitch. But projects, that's multiple. That is the plural version of project, which is what she currently has, which is a singular. So that means there are more in the works, and instead of standing behind Cecil, who white knighted for her until the very end, just like John Malin, just like Ethan Van Sciver, and just like Adam Post and everyone else in Comicsgate who shuffled to that little scent brigade, they stood behind her when War Campaign said that her art wasn't up to snuff, and she didn't necessarily deserve Comicsgate's backing because she wasn't Comicsgate. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that you should be free to back whoever you want to back. However, would I back her book? No. If it was a painting, maybe. I'd put it in a frame and never read it. But it was a drawing of a Bratz character that happened to look like Vampirella with a rose in his hand. I understand that was sentimental to you, not to me. Using the excuse that some memes
Roses don't
by
even smell that good.
fuck you, yes they do. But using the excuse that a meme created by somebody that wasn't one of the main 4 war campaigners uh, destroyed the relationship between War Campaign and Comicsgate, that doesn't stand up anymore. This is about the animosity felt about Anna's cover. This is about the, like, people legitimately calling out a grift, which is something that should have happened in Gamergate, but didn't, and them being ostracized from the community, which is something that did happen in Gamergate when somebody tried to call out a grift. So that's why I have such a big problem with the Comicsgate hashtag right now. That's why you haven't seen the Church of Failure promoting a hashtag Comicsgate book lately. Because I will support an indie creator that I like their artwork or their writing or both. But the hashtag, it means nothing anymore. Nothing that was left from your boy Zach's initial sacrifice remains. Because, I mean, you guys decided that Dynamite was more important than the fans. I mean, am I wrong here?
I think that would be a better idea for a longer show topic itself, but the problem
Absolutely.
is that gets
Well, I
that
mean,
gets too navel gazing.
we still have about what 35 minutes left.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
I mean, this
wouldn't
is
you
the
rather
last
talk
link that I have.
Wouldn't you rather talk about cursing the moon though?
I mean,
And
yes,
end on
but
a high note.
I think we'll talk about that on D Live because honestly, I don't want the baby witches to hex me into flag history on YouTube, and I need to build up my D Live anyway. But
Okay, so like, when would we do this on D Live?
shit, maybe Friday this week. I'll
Let's see if I can do that. We'll talk about it.
I'll talk to a tarot card reader that I know personally. She's right across the county line for me.
That sounds like we could have a fun time on D Live.
Yeah. I mean, I'll get her
And
on. She's
I am
already
a
in the
psychic.
Discord.
Yeah,
No, you're a
and,
sidekick, not a psychic.
No, I'm psychic. You know, have you ever seen the show Psych or The Mentalist? It kind of works like that.
Why is Delta muted? Like, I don't agree with this at all.
I don't know.
I'm too push to talk.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Now, do you posted some things in the live show chat here? Where should I start? At the top, minus the Leroy stuff, because we talked about the fight for racial justice stuff. We talked about the GoFundMe on Humble Bundles to get rid of people. Or do you want to? I mean, you provided us with what 5-6 links.
If you see that anything's relevant to what you want to talk about, bring it up. But I will say that with the Anna stuff, that's like really a fandom menace thing where they go after anybody who criticizes really hard. They dogpile them.
Well, that's Jaxo shit. Like, I don't think that the fandom menace and Comicsgate should have ever mingled because it's two different communities and it's two different mentalities.
Yeah, I agree there.
Hey, Linebrack. Because here's the thing: unless we were in talks with Dark Horse or Marvel to get some Star Wars comics under our belt, like Fandom Menace has nothing to do with Comicsgate. what the fuck does Vampirella have to do with Leia Skywalker? I think I'll start at your tweet screenshots. You've got Lee
Anyway,
Wagner. Oh, that's
I'm
a
going to
tiny
bounce,
image.
guys.
Oh, you're out
I'm
there?
going to bounce, guys. I'm going to try to. I need to get some sleep.
Before you get out of here, thank you very much for coming in and filling in some gaps for us. Thank you for
Not a problem. And I like the idea of Friday.
Yeah,
and I like the idea of Friday of you and I talking about hexing the moon.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said,
can
I'll get a chick in here to read our shit.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, your screenshots are just a little bit tiny, but I can read them. So I'll read them out to the audience. We've got at Lee
And I can confirm.
Lee Wagner art on July 17th. He was doing some Vampirella. What are those, backboard drawings?
Well,
They look a
basically,
little bigger than
Dynamite
sketch
was
art.
retweeting. Dynamite has been retweeting Black Lives Matter stuff. They've pretty much already been infected by the activist thing. They did the Deconstructing It's James Bond comics with Vita Ayala. People were looking the other way as to what Dynamite was.
Well, I never have. Like, I've been upfront with everyone from the very beginning. I am a comic book fan. I love the medium of, just a sequential art profile of a storytelling device. And comic books are a perfect medium for that. 20, 30 pages of a trope filled, almost soap opera type device that you can get a story from in anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes, depending on the complexity of the script and the layout of the panels. But you've got CG retweeting someone named Lee Wagner, who is basically, I'm assuming, with the support Black Lives Matter, support Black Vision, vampire, vintage, bats, watercolor ink, metallic, artist of Twitter, big hair, queer artist, and fan art. BlackVisionMN.org. 1960s Vampirella Art Commission are all the hashtags on the Lee Wagner tweet. Then you have Ethan Van Sciver responding
Too many
to
hashtags,
this.
bro.
Okay, hash browns. Then you have Ethan Van Sciver on a separate tweet, which he's responding to Derry the Third, King Cobra CG, and Gail Simone, and says, "This is SJW shit, bro. Doesn't it bother you that he voted for Trump and this is all in quotes, and is a Nazi? Why do you work with, associate with Nazis?" End quotes. This is the same shit. I disagree that the charity won't be donating to it. Dynamite is getting hit for donating large super chat CG2 Frog. That's actually something I wanted to talk about. Ethan Van Sciver has gone all in with Dynamite. And now there are clips floating around anti-CG that show that he was so quick, like, oh so fucking quick, to disavow Dynamite after they canceled Cecil. However, he personally canceled Pan, Roe, Gat Hanzo, Tyler, all of War Campaign, anybody with a War Campaign tag in their fucking handle. He was first and foremost to do that. And I don't understand. Because before he did that, War Campaign was telling him that Dynamite was going to stab Comic Gate in the back. Your thoughts?
Oh, well, you see, even on that same stream, when the War Campaigners some of them came in the chat and were causing a ruckus, and he's saying pretty much like, "Go away, you're canceled. Like, I don't want you." Right in the same
Well,
stream.
here's one of the things that I've always had a problem with, right? Like, you've seen Ethan, John, and Cecil embrace the destroyer, crusher, ender of peasants memes individually on their own handles. But what was it that Ethan Van Sciver said about the peasant memes when War Campaign was using them to show how the higher ups in Comicsgate were using the meme without using it to destroy peasants, quote unquote, basically assigning people as nothing more than pay pigs. It was debauchery. It was evil. It was separatist. It was designed to keep people away from Comicsgate. It was
Yeah, it was
divisive.
at the top of his list of grievance.
But Cecil has peasant crusher in his name, even after he's been crushed by Dynamite.
There you go.
So I'm just
They're not standing up for what you think are the ideals of Comicsgate at this point. They're just a YouTube group protecting themselves and their money.
There's a reason that I've been friendly with War Campaign, but haven't retweeted anything #Comicsgate in the last month and a half, 2 months. Comicsgate is what I believed in, doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it exists within the War Campaign, but without, like, let's be completely honest, without someone as high profile as Ethan Van Sciver or Doug TenNapel or even Mike Miller. I mean, Comicsgate is just a bunch of indie creators doing what they love doing, and the fractures at this point are inconsequential. Whether you stand with Ethan, whether you stand with War Campaign, no matter what you stand for, if you believe in what Comicsgate started as, the hashtag is dead at this point. Like, this is Gamergate 2.0. There is no.
Well, that actually that leads me to what I had been thinking about since we talked earlier before the show, and it's the internet is not real life, people.
Well, it doesn't matter that
they never last.
It doesn't matter that it's not real life. What I'm getting at is that, you know.
Well, hold on. Let me finish.
Okay,
let me finish.
No, finish.
These hashtag movements always end the same way. They start out with a good idea, and people notice they start making money, that it gets them fame, popularity, whatnot. A bunch of leeches jump in and ruin all of it. This doesn't matter. If you believe in something like independent creators creating a good product that you want to buy, then just support those creators. You don't have to put some cringy hashtag behind it. It doesn't matter what the hashtag is. It's all. I don't care what the movement is you're promoting on social media. It's all cringy and stupid. Okay.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
Here's the problem with that.
If you really support something, then just support it.
Well, here's the problem with that, right? Because there was honestly a morality code and, you know, an ideal behind what we stood for in the beginning. And it was disingenuous of someone like Ethan to take up the banner if he wasn't willing to stand for it all the way. Like, honest to God, regardless of it.
But people
hold on. No, I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish. Honest to God, when you come across a situation where you have a fracture coming into your particular sect of Comicsgate because your best buddy Cecil is getting canceled because your best buddy Nick Berrucci can't handle the fucking consequence of being canceled for lack of a better word, you have a choice to make. And unfortunately, that choice has to show that you were wrong in distancing the fucking fan group that stood behind you for the last 4 fucking years when you were trying to build your goddamn YouTube channel and when you were trying to make your fucking comic book and bought your sketches, participated in your goddamn auctions, and did everything else. But no, no. It's okay because Nick's been my friend for 25 years. War Campaign's only been around for 2. What do they know? They know that the motherfucker that you've been hanging around for 25 years, as soon as he gets a little bit of pressure applied to his fucking throat, he's going to tap out. But you know what? War Campaign would have still fucking been there. That's the difference. War Campaign would have never canceled the Cecil cover like Dynamite did. Earlier today, about 4 hours before the show went live, Joker was posting about how, all the Dynamite covers are reinstated. And then, by the time we went live, they were all back offline. Darb says, I stopped paying attention to CG after the EVS Doug to Naples stream from Rackets. I stopped paying attention to CG loyalties after that because it is long and proven that Doug to Naples puts out a better product than Ethan Van Sciver. I'm sorry to say it, but if I'm going to pay the same amount of money to 2 people, and with one person, I'm going to get a 8.4 graded chromium cover Cyberfrog book, and the other one I'm going to get a hardcover book with 2 packs of trading cards, 2 pinups, a preview comic, and a fucking cutout figurine in a custom box for the same price with less money raised? Hold the fuck up. Wait a minute. What? That means somebody cares more about their profits than they do the quality of their work. And you have to make an objective decision from that. I love Ethan Van Sciver's work. I think he is one of the most talented artists in Comicsgate right now. I think that he is next to nothing unless fucking Todd McFarlane jumps in. Do I think he gives a shit about his customers? Not as much as he gives about his bank account.
Make history in my bank account.
I mean, am I wrong?
No, there's a lot of truth there.
I think that the idea that he's claiming he made over $1 million and beat Doug to Naples because he introduced toys that you could buy for an additional price. I'm sorry, but fuck you. You didn't sell comic books to make that. Those weren't
He's not including
goals.
printing or fees or anything.
Well,
shipping.
Here's the thing.
That's all going to be taken out.
If I would have bought his base comic book and a making of book, like I do for Doug to Naples every time he puts a book out, if I buy the base package, which is the book and the making of book, and then whatever stretch goals come with that, that wasn't spending $200 with Doug to Naples. That was spending $200 with Ethan. I mean, take out how many honeycomb boxes did he sell? 250?
200.
500? 200. So 200 times 200. That's 4 with 4 zeros. That's $40,000. Just off the top for the base campaign and a couple of reprints. And then you get.
I think the cover art was 10 grand.
Yeah, and somebody bought that, so that's 50 grand out of your $1 million. I mean, and then you take away all the toy sales, like, how much did you make on your fucking book, dude? That's what this is about. It's about comics. 200 or 2,500 honeycomb boxes at $200 a piece. Let's do the math. I mean, I could do it in my head.
It became
but
about
like,
YouTube and not comics quite a while ago now.
and I agree with you, and that hurts me a lot more than it should. But 2,500 times $200 a piece. That's half of his campaign that he sold out of them. That's $500,000 for some reprints in a gold box, guys. Peter Samedi sold those boxes for $20 a piece.
Well, like we said, everybody should be like Peter Samedi.
$20 a piece for the box that you're getting with the gold honeycomb box of $200. I could see $100.
Here's what I've been thinking.
I could see $100. 200. That's kind of greedy. I'm sorry.
These guys didn't invent.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I keep going, talking
no.
over you.
No, you're good.
These guys didn't invent going outside the system to make comics. It's been going on at least since the 60s in Zap Comics, those guys.
No, absolutely. But
people got to realize that.
No, I don't think they invented it, but to say you made $1 million on a comic book when you made $500,000 on some, I mean, I think it's 8 comic books included with the honeycomb box, right? Like ash cans and comics total is 8 books, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
It can't be counted like Spawn number 300 or The Last Walking Dead.
But
issue,
no, I'm saying it's
in terms
8
of copies.
It's 8 comic books like in the package of the box, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll take that number and we'll even be generous with it. We'll call it 10. Okay, so 10 comic books at your local comic shop would cost you $50. The box cost you $20 from Peter Samedi. The $70 that Ethan Van Sciver's handing you for $200. And he's saying, "Oh, but you get trading cards and PVC figurines with it." Well, where are those PVC figurines coming from? Oh, right, China. Isn't there a trade embargo with China right now? Wait, I work for a t-shirt shop. I can't get the shirts that I need to complete the orders that I have because unfortunately the fucking fabric goes through goddamn China. So wait a minute. Even though my shirts are made in Honduras, they can't get the fabric to make my fucking shirts in Honduras because there's a trade embargo with China? So you're telling me I'm going to get my PVC figures on time? I don't fucking think so. But I paid $200 and gave you $500,000 for a golden box that Peter Samedi would charge me $20 for. With 8 books in it at Marvel and DC pricing would be $70. But from you it was $200. I'm sorry. That's a problem. That's not an improvement to the industry. That's a grift. That's what we called it in Gamergate. And unfortunately, when people look back, that's what they're going to call it in Comicsgate. I didn't intend to get into this in this show, but here we are. Larry kind of left me to my devices.
Well, and that was kind of my point with the hashtag movements is there's a bit of a difference, but in the long run, it's all the same.
Well, here's the thing.
It eventually
you charge
all turns out the same.
You charge $150 for something that cost you $70 to distribute. I have no problem with that. You charge $200 for it, and you put $2,500 as the limited offer, and you call it a good deal every day on your Twitter. You say that Dynamite is helping Comicsgate, and then they cancel your friend, and you immediately turn coat. You don't respond to my fucking buddy Don Chen. I got a problem with that. I'm not wrong to have a problem with that. People told you from
No,
the
not
very
at all.
beginning.
And that's
Ethan. Fucking John Malin. Fucking Cecil. Fucking Anna. What are you doing completing your Dynamite projects when they backstabbed your buddies? What are you doing? You're grifting. You're being no better than Gamergate. You're setting an example that money is more important than loyalty. What's wrong with you? I'm sorry. I mean, we got 15 minutes left.
and
I'll shut
again,
up.
That's the problem with that. I think part of this internet culture of activism, whatever you want to call it, is you don't really know these people, right?
Well, it's not about
So, like,
knowing them.
you know,
It's
Church, you
about
and me,
them.
well,
No,
hold on,
it's
hold on.
no,
hold on.
it's about the fact that they've been
I'm
telling
going
us
somewhere
what their
with this.
no, it's about the fact that they've been telling us what their principles were for over 2 years now, and now those principles don't matter because there's profit involved. Fuck you.
And this is where I'm going with this. You know, you could know somebody on the internet, be quote internet friends for a long time or whatever, but if you're never looking that person straight in the eye, can you really, like, be honest with them, feel shame if you screw them over and betray someone that you claim is your friend if you're not looking them right in the eye?
Yes,
I don't think you
because
can,
I would never
because
betray you
some-
without having to look you straight in the eye.
Well,
We've been partners for over a year. Have I ever
Right.
fucked you over?
no, we also come from, I think, a different mindset than most internet people.
Well, the
'Cause,
thing is,
You know, I wouldn't
it's not
do the
about
same
internet
thing, but,
people. It's
but
about
when these
creators to the
but when-
customer.
Right. Well, you were saying, where's the loyalty to your friends?
Well,
And
sure.
That's the point I'm touching on. Is
Well, here's the thing.
To most people, other people you see on the internet, they're just pixels on a screen.
Well,
They're
no,
not.
no.
You don't,
That's not the point. The
you
point
don't-
that I'm making is the fact that Ethan's apparently been friends with Nick Barucci for over 25 years, according to his own word, right? So he's going to betray Nick Barucci
Right.
and shit talk him on a live stream for Cecil, who he's only known for what, 2-3 years? But that's loyalty to Cecil, right? When Cecil's not even a comic book
Right.
creator and has agreed with Dynamite with them canceling his cover. So how is that loyalty? There is none. Ethan's not loyal to
Right,
anybody
but-
there.
Well, I was speaking more in a greater context, right? So, like, if there were just some random person, you know, whoever, Dick Jones, 43, don't know who he is, don't really know anything about him, but you have quite pleasant interactions with him on Twitter or whatever, and you have some sort of business dealing, and then something happens and he screws you over. He bends you right over, no lube. That's a lot easier for him to do than,
Bends
let's say,
you over.
than
He doesn't bend your friend
Right.
over and then you
The-
white knight for your friend. You betray
Well,
a
no.
25-year-old
I'm just saying,
relationship for
it's-
some dude you've known for 5 years because you knew that the SJWs were going to target your friend that you've known for 25 years. That would literally be like me saying, "Hey, Ayrton, send me some guitar or send me some cigars," and then you send me some cigars, but some people that don't like me find out you sent me some cigars, and you'd be like, "Okay, well, hey guys, you guys have been, providing my employment for 10 years now, and I've only known this guy for a year, but I'm gonna side with him because fuck you." Whereas you could
After
have
he's cleared the way of other people off his show for that guy too.
correct. Now, the thing is, if you come out and you say, "Hey, Dynamite doing a cover for Cecil, and we're gonna pump that bitch up to $10,000 on night number 2," which Ethan did, uh, and then you come out and you say, "Well, the guy that I just helped promote to get Cecil to $10,000 on his cover, fuck that guy." I mean, how can you trust somebody like that? Like
Right.
I understand loyalty is a thing, but
But
here's the problem. Here's the problem.
we
Okay,
we also live in the real world. A lot of these people don't. They live online, and that messes with your psychology.
Nick Barocci
I'm
doesn't
not
live
trying to defend
online.
what.
Nick Barocci lives at Dynamite
Okay.
Comics as their CEO. Ethan Van Sciver
Okay.
lives 10 minutes away from
Well,
Nick Barocci as CEO of All Caps Comics. This was coordinated. Ethan Van Sciver was eating pizza with Nick Barocci when Nick Barocci was saying, "Hey, I'm going to have to cancel Cecil." And they were smoking cigars, and Ethan said, "I understand, bro. You know this means I'm going to have to take some shots at you on my YouTube channel to make some money." And that's what I have a fucking problem with. This isn't honest anymore. Because Ethan, as a goddamn 26-year veteran of the comic book industry, would have come out and said, "Hey, I know this isn't the best artwork in town, but if you want to back the fandom menace and Comicsgate coming together with Dynamite Comic, then you back Anna's book. And there might be some more covers, and there might be some more projects on the way from the Fandom Menace, and Nerdrotic, and Cecil, and John Malin, and Ethan Van Sciver, and Dynamite Comic." And then when War Campaign came out and said, "Hey, Ethan, you see that War Campaign is like low key supporting SJW bullshit through Humble Bundle and through their Twitter and through their donations to Mark Wade's versus your boy Zach." And Ethan should have gone, "Wait a minute, your boy Zach? Richard Meyer's one of my best friends. Why would my buddy Nick Barocci donate to Mark Wade to hurt my friend Zach? Like, I don't understand this." And he should have confronted Nick Barocci, whether it be on live stream or in private. I don't care. But he should have confronted his friend Nick Barocci, and he should have said, "Do you really want my buddy Richard Meyer to lose his lawsuit? Like, I think Mark Wade fucked him up." And Nick Barocci should have said, "You know what, bro? You're right. And the direction the comic industry is going, I'm with you. 100. But we got about 90% from Nick Barocci. And when that 90% got overwhelmed by 130, which is what SJW counterculture is like, he folded. And then Ethan folded. Neither one of them were loyal. Neither one of them knew what loyalty meant. They stood by and let the people that spent the most on their fucking product and gave them $3,000 to $5,000 for a cover. I'm still not verified on the actual amount, but from what I understand, Cecil made a bonus plus the initial cost of that cover, which amounted to him making about 5G's pocket money. He canceled a cover because he didn't agree with War Campaign because these motherfuckers might have made fun of Anna and her dead sister. Nigga, fuck that. That's some old bullshit. I mean, am I wrong here? Or am I just an asshole? All right, we have
Oh no, you're
like 6.5
not
minutes
wrong.
left. Somebody
just-
jump in.
I was just trying to look at it from a psychological point of view, I guess. Like why these people would be acting this way after touting for years about something else.
Okay.
That was kind of the point I was making.
We have 6 minutes left in the show. Darb said Doug flipped on me on Twitter last summer over a misunderstanding. Doug blocked me on my IRL account over a misunderstanding last year. Darb, I understand. Started to grow suspicious after that. Even if you don't interact with him, if you back his projects, you get more than you pay for, which say about Ethan, unfortunately. Arcanus said, Reethan is a disgusting creature. He sees customers as pay pigs and nothing more, nothing less. That is Arcanus Einbrecht's view. I have nothing to say about that. He also says, I will never treat people the way he does, and I can 100% about that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have less than 5 minutes left. Delta Spurg Force is still with us. Larry Bernard has signed off. Ayrton McCartney, my trusty co-host, is still here. And I am lit as fuck, but, you know, I didn't intend to get into Ethan shit, but, you know, it seems the appropriate time. I have some problems with the way he treats people and the way he... I have a DM from Ethan that I could share, but I'm not going to because that's not what I do. But I have a DM from Ethan and I ask, hey, is the fucking ceasefire coming soon? Because I can't handle the way that Comic Gate is fracturing. And again, there's a reason that I don't promote hashtag Comicsgate shit anymore. If you're an indie creator, I will happily host you. We will have a conversation. Actually, Delta's Berg Force, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with you.
Well, you haven't said shit, so I've been carrying the show.
I'll let you go. I'm letting you go off, man.
No, that's...
You're not wrong to go on the Ethan Van Sciver track because this is central to
well, it's
what people
it's
on
some
the other
low-key
side
shit.
of the coin, the
I've
SJW
honestly,
people are mad at.
well, I've honestly been keeping it close to the vest because of the amount of respect I have for one Don Chen and his contract with Dynamite and his association with the Cyberfrog property. But honestly, after the bullshit that I've seen between War Campaign and Comicsgate and John Malin and Cecil and Charlie's London and Oz and even the way they've even fucking treated Liam, like, god damn it. Like, nobody's spoken out about the way they fucking treated Liam. Like, the redhead fucking stepchild of Comicsgate, even though he raised almost $80,000 Australian for his fucking book. Like, are you fucking shitting me? That dude did that shit by himself. He made Oz a fucking name, and Oz capitalized on it. But motherfuckers just forgot Liam when he had a goddamn breakdown? And they're treating him like shit? And they're trying to come at him on his streams when he's just trying to be fucking neutral like I do? But no.
Well, look, I can get more into that after this stream, but
Oh yeah.
as for the Dynamite thing, we just gotta wait and see what he's gonna do.
Well, no, I
it's
mean,
not a bad thing that all these people are quitting because those are exactly the kind of people that he doesn't need in this company.
well, here's the thing.
The real thing is, what's he going to
clips
replace those people with?
Well, I've got clips
What's gonna
from a
happen?
fucking Renfamous thread that I could pull up, but I don't want to give Renfamous the time of day. But I've got clips from her where she's clipped Ethan saying that, oh, well, Nick Barucci doesn't have the fucking gut to be Comicsgate, even though that's the exact fucking opposite shit you were saying 3 months ago, you fucker, when you were calling Pan a faggot live on stream. What is your fucking problem? Like, am I wrong here? Am I out of line? No. You were using the same goddamn bullshit you used to cancel Doug DeNapel, Mike Miller, and goddamn fucking Edwin Boyette from Comicsgate.
Yeah, the blood sports formula is not a good marketplace.
Yeah, the same shit you used to cancel those sons of bitches for a fucking innocuous tweet you used on somebody else's channel on fucking YouTube to cancel War Campaign? Fuck you. I'm sorry, but you can't use the same goddamn formula to cancel somebody that you use to fucking pull somebody out of the goddamn movement. Pride is a sin is a lot less innocuous than calling somebody the fucking F slur on somebody else's live stream. No, Dillard, I'm always talking to you when I say that word. I love you, buddy. I'm just hoping our penises can French kiss like I saw in the Tumblr gif.
Yeah, he really loves you.
I mean, if you're willing to raise my kids, I'm willing to French kiss penis with you. French kiss penises with you. That's the word I'm looking for. But no, I'm just I'm just out of the goddamn fucking mainframe.
Please,
Go ahead.
Please, somebody draw.
Oh, I'll send you an image. I've already done it. No, I've already done it. No, I have some penises.
Church
No, I have penises French kissing that I'll send you. It's cool.
Hashtag me too.
I mean, you can always quit the show, and I'll bring in somebody else as a co-host, or I'll just sit here and get drunk and rant for 2 hours. I mean, that seems to be entertaining enough. But no, Anyway, Dynamite, War Campaign called the fucking bullshit. It was always going to be a rift in Comicsgate. Ethan Van Sciver used it to eliminate War Campaign. War Campaign fucking called the bullshit and said, "Hey, yo, dog, you're fucking up." And what do you fucking know? Y'all were fucking up. Anyway, with that, Deltasburg Force, where can they find you?
I've been streaming at thatstarwarsguy.com. We have a show called the Trash Compactor. That'll redirect you to YouTube.
Why hasn't the gospel?
We're on tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, come on, Delta.
I just want to know,
it's a call. We have call-ins, so you can come in. We'll give you the StreamYard link right on the chat.
Oh well, no, I don't need a call-in link. I need a guest link. That's what I need. But we'll talk about that after the show.
And StreamYards hates us. So.
No, we can do StreamYards as guests. We can't host StreamYards. We can't actually stream multiple video feeds. But if someone else is handling the host position, we can do it. But no, Ayrton, where can they find you?
I mean, here usually. I occasionally do stuff on my own channel.
You should
Ayrton
do more. You should do more now that you have audio equipment, and you should make us a new intro. Also, you can find the War Campaign.
I'm actually writing another kind of intro variation.
It should be based off of the Ozzy Osbourne Black Sabbath Iron Man song.
Okay, I was going a different route with that, but I can try that one.
No, that's the next project you have. We can have 3. It's fine. I'll alternate.
Oh, okay.
Deltasburg Force, correct me if I'm incorrect, however, but you can find the War Campaign every Sunday and Wednesday over at dlive.tv/warcampaign. Is that correct?
Yes.
Every Sunday and Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll link that in the chat.
Definitely do that. And send me a link. I'll put it in the description. with that, Ayrton, would you mind getting us right the fuck out of here?
Gladly, because I have to pee like a motherfucker. Good night, everybody.
I have to be worse. Later, guys.
Good
I
night.
appreciate it.